Hi and welcome to Beatle Dave's Beatles channel. Today's video I'm going to be showing an amazing bunch of Beatles bootleg CDs. So please come and join me. So hello there and welcome once again to Beatle Dave's Beatles channel. Hope I found all you fantastic Beatles people doing really well out there, and thank you also to any new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So today's video I'm going to be showing best part of my Beatles bootleg CD collection, which I've been collecting since the late 1980s. And unlike my video which I showed last year, where some bootlegs actually could be really quite disappointing, the Beatles CD bootleg journey is one that is of a complete and utter amazement. The Ultra Rare Tracks releases were without doubt the game changer for the bootleg and music industry. I mean, these releases were actually the ones that seemed to worry EMI around the time the most, as to how exactly these unreleased recordings got out. And it seems more likely that the tapes were actually copied from around the period of when John Barrett was diagnosed with cancer and was asked by General Manager Ken Townsend to actually catalogue and go through every single Beatles tape to keep him busy while he was undergoing his treatment. John Barrett made dubs to cassette of many Beatles session tracks and also started to compile a track list in 1982 for the upcoming presentation of the Beatles at Abbey Road, which was showing in the summer of 1983 while the studio was being refurbished. Well, in August 1983 I was aged 14 and I was actually at one of the Abbey Road shows during this period, and being there in Studio 2 was a very special and surreal moment, let alone listening to the unreleased songs and rare footage. Actually, an interesting note is that Roger Scott, who narrated the Beatles at Abbey Road, was given some cassette dubs of these Beatles tracks, whereupon he used some in a 12-hour radio show called Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which seems to be where the bootleg Not For Sale was actually sourced from. Also, some of the tapes made it to Europe, where bootleggers put the tracks out amongst songs from other sources, with Ultra Rare Tracks and Unsurpassed Masters leading the way. So anyway though, we're going to be getting to those bootlegs very, very soon, but before then, of course, it's time for I Call Your Name. So yes, it's on to those fabulous old shout-outs, and it's a great big Beatle Dave hello to Hayward Jr. How you doing, Hayward? Grow YouTube Views, Jason Elkins, who's got the Green Beatles Collection French box set, Joe Rob, 750 Drums, FBT, how you doing, FBT, Retro Rave, Mr. Beatles Pro, Nick Elias, George Price, Gavin Norman, how you doing, Gav? Gerard McMullen and Martin Robinson. So that's a massive hi to all of you Beatle people from yours truly, Beatle Dave. So okay then, now it's time to have a look at a great selection of Beatles CD bootlegs. So please, come and join me. So I've got a great bunch of Beatles bootlegs to show you guys today, and obviously I'm going to get through them as quick as I can. There's quite a lot to show, so if I'm a little bit too quick I apologise for that, but obviously we've got a lot to get through. So this one I've got first then is the first one I ever brought. It's basically two of the Tokyo shows that were obviously broadcast at the time, around June to July 1966 of course. Quality wise it's okay, it's not brilliant, but it was sort of the late sort of 80s if you like when I bought this particular one. Obviously it's the same concerts, you know, pretty much twice all the way run through, the same set list if you like. It's, you know, it's okay, it's an average sort of quality bootleg, but it's what it is. It's of the time, and it's obviously taken from the video soundtracks, but yeah, pretty good for the first one I ever brought. So on to another early CD bootleg I brought then in the late 80s, and it's called The Beatles Live in Paris 1965 on Swinging Pig, and I think I showed this one on vinyl previously. It's got both shows of the afternoon and the evening shows. Great track lineup from 1965, and it sounds pretty good as well. Not a bad sounding bootleg, this one. So moving on then to a set of CDs which eclipsed ultra rare tracks in the late 1980s, and it's called Unsurpassed Masters, and these are an absolutely amazing bunch of CDs which we're going to take a look at now. Starting with obviously Volume 1, 1962 to 1963. These are just absolutely mind-blowing at the time. I mean, ultra rare tracks were mind-blowing. These were doubly mind-blowing. You know, you've got so many tracks and they're all in chronological order. Plenty of session speech and just absolutely, you know, really presented really well. I mean, you've got Best Me Mucho from the Artist Test in 1962. Following on from that, you've got obviously tracks from their very first recording session for their album Please Please Me, and absolutely a load of tracks from that album there, you know. Going on to From Me to You and overdubs From Me to You and Thank You Girl, One After 909, and then we got tracks from With the Beatles. You know, this is just incredible stuff. You know, you've got to put yourself back in the late 1980s when these came out, and it was just phenomenal. But what a fantastic CD. And, you know, the whole series is just absolutely mind-blowing. So that's the first one. And the second one then is obviously Volume 2, 1964 to 1965. Great shot of the guys there from 1964. George with his newly acquired Rickenbacker there. And there's a spine shot there. Once again, you know, you've got some really fantastic tracks here. Hard Day's Night, Sessions, Leave My Kitten Alone. And you've got She's a Woman, I Feel Fine, Yes It Is, If You Got Troubles. Obviously, a lot of these tracks have been released since on Anthology, but at the time, you know, they just weren't anywhere near released. Obviously, you know, 1988, 89 when these came out. Some great sessions there of Help, Norwegian Wood, Day Tripper, We Can Work It Out, 12-bar original, and I'm Looking Through You. Fabulous stuff, really, just amazing. So on to Volume 3, which is 1966 to 1967. Great photo of the guys there, around about 1967, of course, June 1967, for the Our World broadcast. And of course, there's the spine. Once again, great load of tracks on here with Paperback Writer. They've got Rain, Mark 1, obviously, which is Tomorrow Never Knows. I don't think actually that's any different than the release track. And you've got a great load of sessions there for Strawberry Fields Forever. There's no Penny Lane on here, which is a bit of a disappointment. Then we've got A Day in the Life, you've got the full broadcast of All You Need Is Love, I'm the Walrus, Aerial Tour Instrumental, that's the full version of that, and Hello Hello Take One, which is obviously Hello Goodbye. More great stuff. So we've moved on to 1968 then, Volume 4, and they've got a great photo there of the guys with their animated selves from Yellow Submarine, and there's the spine. Then on the reverse, of course, we've got the track listing, and of course this particular CD includes the Peter Sellers tape, which was sold at auction, and of course either bootleg before or after, quite possibly. But it's a great, you know, great listen, and certainly got some different mixes and stuff on there from the White Album. So of course we've got Lady Madonna as well on there, Across the Universe, Brian Epstein Blues, Hey Jude, and then we've got all the tracks from the Peter Sellers tape there. My favourite being Sexy Sadie with the extra bars in there. And of course, and at the end, of course, we got What's the New Mary Jane right at the end. But it's a great track list in this one. It's one of my favourite CDs from the collection. So on to Unsurpassed Masters, Volume 5 then, 1969. And of course, a great photo once again from April 1969 there. The guys with their roller. And there's the spine. Let's just take a look on the back then to the track listing. Of course, a lot of tracks from Abbey Road and Let It Be era. And of course, this particular Huge Melody Part 1 and 2, it suffers from distortion, unfortunately, but luckily since then we've had it reissued on the Super Deluxe set. But nevertheless, still a great CD, and it rounds off the tracks from 1962 to 1970, really, of these particular first 5 CDs. But we've got plenty more to show, but those first 5 CDs are certainly a fantastic listen, really good stuff. So on to some more Yellow Dog CDs then, which I picked up around about the same sort of time. And this one's Celluloid Rock. And this is 006. Obviously it comes directly after the first 5 CDs that were released. So let's just take a look at the back first. So yeah, mainly all tracks from the Let It Be sessions or the Get Back sessions in January 1969. Quality's pretty good. Obviously still from the late 1980s, these particular CDs, I believe, or early 90s. And obviously, most of these tracks now have been, you know, pretty much released, or certainly quality-wise have been released on better quality bootlegs, but still great for the time. So on to then the Beatles Unsurpassed demos, which is obviously the demos they recorded in Esher 1968, prior to the White Album at George's Bungalow. And I think all these have been, you know, surpassed now, obviously being unsurpassed at the time, but now they've been surpassed And of course they're on the Super Deluxe box set. I don't think there's anything missing off the Super Deluxe box set, but you never know. I mean, I can't remember if Circles is on there. But I mean, this is pretty much the, comprehensive list of all the tracks they recorded over those that weekend or whenever it was they recorded those tracks. But even so, this is at the time a super CD to have. So another great CD here then, the Beatles Acetates. Obviously these were from Acetates that were sold in auctions at the time or around the time. Bad to Me, 101 is 2, 12-bar original, that's Compleat, A Day in the Life, Magical Mystery Tour, The Fall on the Hill, Blue Jay Way, Your Mother Should Know, I'm the Walrus, Christmas Time is Here Again, Goodbye, Something and I Me Mine. Real good stuff. Once again, another great disc. So on to then the Silver Beatles, and also of course we've got the original Decca tapes there and some Cavern Club rehearsals. Great stuff. It's a really good series. All these Yellow Dog CDs were always superb. So pretty much all the Decca tapes there, all the what they did for Decca on the 1st of January 1962. And there's some tracks there also from the Cavern Club, which is rarely heard, but it's great to have those all on disc. Real good addition to anyone's CD collection, bootleg CD collection. So a lot of these CDs, you could probably find these still around somewhere, but they're certainly great to have in anyone's collection. So on to Unsurpassed Masters, Volume 6, 1962 to 1969. And it pretty much mops up a lot of tracks which wasn't included on the other CDs. As you can see there, you've got some other versions of There's a Place, Saw Us Standing There, From Me to You, Thank You Girl, Don't Bother Me, Hard Day's Night, so on and so on. Great bunch of tracks, but it goes from the years obviously 1962 to 69. And it's kind of slightly out of an order there. Obviously got What's the New Mary Jane right at the end, but it should really be in 1968. But anyway, still a great addition. And of course there, so the artwork started to get a little bit better as well on some of these. So on to Unsurpassed Masters, Volume 7 then, 1962 to 1969. Once again, it's mopping up those odd tracks with a bit of a bonus. Because you've got a bonus, you've got some studio talk there for Think For Yourself. And I think a small fraction was used actually in the Yellow Submarine film of them actually rehearsing Think For Yourself. But you still got some great tracks on here, nevertheless. Penny Lane, of course, Not Guilty, another version of Not Guilty, Revolution, etc. Come and Get It. So once again, just mopping up all those odd tracks that wasn't on the first 1 to 5 volumes. So the next CD then is Get Back and 22 Other Songs, which is obviously the original mix of the Get Back album, which is all those tracks there with some bonus tracks on the other side from the Get Back sessions. It's certainly an invaluable disc to have, but there's quite a few versions of the Get Back album out there. But of course, since then, we've had it out on the Super Deluxe box set, which is always a bonus. But this is still a great CD, certainly from the time, the early 90s. It's a great CD to have. So on to the Let It Be Rehearsals, Volume 1, the complete rooftop concert of 30th of January 1969, of course. Photo of the guys on the roof there. Obviously at the time this was absolutely invaluable, and you had plenty of chatter from down on the street as well as all the tracks from the day that they recorded. A lot of other tracks there from the Get Back Let It Be sessions, but once again another great CD and certainly invaluable for us back then over 30 years ago. So on to another Let It Be Rehearsals disc then. This one's Volume 2, and this is All Things Must Pass, Part 1, Electric Set. And of course, most of these tracks on here are by George. And obviously all the tracks that he recorded at the time during the Get Back and Let It Be sessions. And, stuff from Twickenham and obviously Apple as well. I think my favourite being the I Me Mine tracks they did at Twickenham. I mean, I just thought they were so tight the way they were playing Paul George and Ringo, on those particular sessions. Really great stuff. While John and Yoko was dancing around the soundstage. Really fantastic. Once again, another invaluable CD, for the time. It just brilliant stuff. It really showcases George and how good a songwriter he really was. So we've got something a little bit different then. Obviously, I picked these up, on my travels, as you do. And these are actually CD-ROMs of hours and hours of, Get Back and Let It Be stuff. So it's actually the complete Get Back Sessions, Volume 1 from Twickenham. And I think there's about 19 hours on this particular disc, as you can see there. Obviously for PC only. And it says it's about 19 hours of material. It's really fantastically well made. And you can just put this in your PC or your laptop or whatever and you can download all the tracks, all the the hours and hours of sound that you've got on there. Obviously, this was many years ago I got these, but once again, these are just invaluable and just great to hear all that sort of material, stuff that you probably wouldn't normally hear. And where there's a volume 1, there's generally a volume 2. And once again, the Complete Get Back Sessions, volume 2, Apple Studios. I don't think this is as great as the first disc, but there's still about 11 hours, I believe, on this particular disc from the Apple sessions. But I still think that the Twickenham sessions were much more, covered, certainly a lot more on these early bootlegs. But once again, though, it's great to have these, and you just a fantastic listening experience. And these are really well made. So on to another fabulous bootleg then called Revolution, Take Your Knickers Off. And this has got Revolution 1, and it's got 11.5-minute mix of that, which is pretty rare. It's different to the one on the Super Deluxe box set. Got a great load of tracks on this particular disc, 2 discs actually. And you've got some tracks from the White Album with a session from Cilla Black being Step Inside Love. It's got Paul McCartney and George Martin at that session. And also we've got Badfinger there, Come and Get It, with some tracks there. Some No Escaping Your Love is the other track on that disc. And it's another session, which is really great to hear, some Badfinger sessions. I've taken the disc out, which I'll show in a moment. But it's got some real good pictures and information on this particular bootleg. It's really good. Great quality, really good, great quality bootleg, this one. Really well made. And there we go, Step Inside Love. So it's a really good session, that actually. It's really good how they practice it and it comes together. And she's rehearsing. It's a really good session. And then we've got the actual discs themselves. We've got disc 1 there. Paul and John. And of course, great artwork on that one. Disc 2. Really nice stuff. So the final couple of bootlegs I'm going to show then are 2 bootleg box sets. With the first one, I think I might have shown this one before, but I'm going to show it again anyway in case anyone's missed it. But this is the Complete Hollywood Bowl Concerts, 1964 to 1965, and they're all in true stereo. A really fantastic box set, this one. All the concerts are in there. You've got all the tracks, and you've also got a press conference, I believe, as well. Really fantastic set, this one. Beautifully made. And there's the spine. Let's just take a quick look inside. It's got a little booklet as well. It's fantastically made. This one really is a wonderful bootleg. It gives the fans what they really want. You've got the complete concerts there in wonderful stereo, sounding really great. And there's the last page there, I believe. And that's last couple of pages. There's Paul. Paul again. So yeah, we've got that little booklet there. I've got a little certificate to tell you what number set you got. Well, this one doesn't say what number it is, but it's limited to 1,000 apparently. And you got the discs. So there's the first one, 1964 and 65 on that one. Well, there's the back. Anyway, I'll show the back. Both the concerts there, 64, 65. Really beautifully made. And then, of course, the other disc, which is 1965, and of course you've got the press conference on this particular one as well as an interview with John and Ringo, which is even better. Really fantastic stuff. So the final bootleg I'm going to show today then is the Sam Houston concert they did on August the 19th, 1965, and it's the complete concert with all the other artists who played on the day as well. It's a great looking box set, this one, and it includes a game. It says The Playing Beatles 2. I'm guessing there must be another box set then out there. This could be the second box set. And for the first time, the complete concert with the support groups. Contents The Beatles Game. And there's the spine. I've never played the game. So let's take a little look inside. So what we got then? We've got a board, which you would play like that. I mean, how often do you get a bootleg with a game? Incredible, really. And then we've got basically some dice and some little characters there. The Beatles, 4 Beatles there, which you put around the board. But the actual Main contents obviously being the CD, the complete concert there, Sam Houston Coliseum, Thursday, August 19th, 1965. Wonderful stuff. And there's the complete concert there. But actually, when I listen to the CDs, there's actually a couple of tracks missing from Sounds Incorporated, which is a bit of a bummer. But it's got the full set there from the Beatles and everybody else. But it's pretty incredible. The sound quality is really, really good on this particular CD. And there's disc one. We've got a little booklet there, which has got some information. Houston on record. Good quality, really good quality bootleg, this one. You certainly can't complain when you're getting a great show, which sounds really good. This is what we want. As Beatles fans, you know, we want good quality stuff out there. And this is what we want, you know, stuff like this. It's all available, you know, out there somewhere. It'd be nice if they started putting out a box set of live stuff. It really would be fantastic. But who knows, maybe in the future. Certainly would be a nice thing to have. So that's it for today, guys, and I really hope you've enjoyed seeing my Beatles bootleg CDs. And please don't forget, as always, any comments or communication I get from any of you Beatle people about today's video or any other videos I've made, I will of course always come back to you just as soon as I can. So on the next video then, and you may remember I showed the Beatles in mono CD box set back in November. Well, now it's time to actually have a good look at the stereo box set, which I also received on release day with the mono box. So please make sure that you're here on the next video, same Beatles time, same Beatles channel. Anyway, as always, if you enjoy what I'm doing, why not give us a like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. This is Beatle Dave signing off. Beatles Channel.